World Series Game 3, Red Sox make just one mistake again. The Boston Red Sox represent one of the 2 or 3 greatest collections of baseball talent on the whole planet. There's little doubt about this. They could easily have won the first 3 games of this World Series. There's little doubt about this, either. But instead they're down 2 games to 1, and that's largely because they've committed the same fundamental error in games 2 and 3, and yet, those fundamental errors have been mostly lost among all the other dramatic events surrounding them. In a moment, I'll explain, and I promise, there will be dog gifts. First, though, a few semi-random thoughts about Game 3. I've been screaming for weeks about Daniel Navik, and Saturday night he finally got his shot. Fortunately for his playing time and my shaky reputation, not to mention the Red Sox chances in the series, Navik hit the ball hard twice and drove in 2 runs. Consider it a small victory for the forces of rationality. Some of us have been accusing Mike Matheny throughout the postseason of being too slow on the trigger with his starting pitchers. He's got those lights-out relief pitchers, so why not use them? So it was refreshing to see Matheny yank starter Joe Kelly in the 6th, even though Kelly had thrown only 89 pitches and his club was still winning, 2-1. But Matheny still didn't get it quite right. He brought in lefty Randy Cho to face David Ortiz. Good move, even though Ortiz did rip a single into right field. Then, a bad move. Ortiz's hit placed him on first base and Victorino on third. Matheny wanted the double play, which is understandable. Right-handed reliever Seth Maness is accomplished at inducing ground balls. Matheny brought in Maness. The problem is, did I mention this already? That Maness is right-handed, and Navik beats right-handers silly. Meanwhile, Navik struggles against left-handers. This Sullivan guy seems like a real smart aleck. Might have to keep an eye on him. But I digress. The point is that Matheny replaced a lefty ground ball pitcher with a righty ground ball pitcher, at what seemed the wrong time to do that. Navik stroked a game-tying single into right field, and then Maness got the inning-ending double play. In the 7th, John Farrell brought in Craig Breslow, who took his lumps in Game 2, thanks partly to some bad luck. Same thing in Game 3. First batter reached on an infield single. The second batter, Carlos Beltran, reached when Breslow's fastball just grazed Beltran's elbow. Or to be precise, just grazed the pad on Beltran's elbow. It looked to me like Beltran made zero effort to avoid getting hit, and according to the rules he shouldn't have been awarded first base. But of course that's a judgment call, and of course it's a judgment that very few umpires have the courage to make. Can't really blame Dana DeMuth, who was already having a pretty bad game and probably didn't want to be responsible for Matheny falling dead in the dugout from a brain aneurysm. But Beltran did not deserve first base. Farrell yanked Breslow in favor of Junichi Tazawa. Another good move. My friend Joe Carey wanted Farrell to instead summon Koji Uehara, but A. Tazawa was pretty good, and B. there's not a single manager in North American professional baseball who would have used Uehara in that spot. Anyway, Tazawa gave up a 2-run double before escaping the inning. Things would get really weird in the bottom of the 9th inning, but they'd already been weird. I mean, really weird. Trevor Rosenthal's been nearly unhittable all month, but the Red Sox got to him. Matheny was again aggressive, summoning Rosenthal for a 5-out save, potentially. With a fielder's choice and a 2-out chopper that bounced into center field, the Sox tied the game. That was the top of the 8th. Tazawa had thrown 24 pitches in the bottom of the 7th. Farrell replaced him in the bottom of the 8th with Brandon Workman. With 2 runners aboard and Matt Holliday coming up, we were all yelling at our electronics, "Where is Koji?" Because just a single from Holliday probably means the Red Sox lose a close World Series game without their best reliever ever leaving the bullpen. We were all yelling,